There's a place where we can go tonight. The rhythm will make it right, where everyone is happy and the sun will shine all night. We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Why don't you let yourself slip out of control? We could have a good time, let everybody sing. Get your feet up on the floor. So when the world feels dark and friends seem hard to find, you know how to light a spark, just to let your worries unwind. When you're down, there's just one way to go. Let us ascend tonight. Everyone could be so happy and the sun will shine all night. We could have a good time, let everybody sing.
Opportunity is often lost in deliberation. Should I or shouldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Should I do this? Should I do that? But no, now is the time. Now is the time to do your yoga. Dive in, take a plunge, do the course corrections that you need, but just do. Don't overthink something, and don't overthink your yoga. It's just yoga. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home, and I think that's the best part. You're doing it alone in the privacy of your own home. You're doing it your way. You're feeling what you feel. You're taking the time and just enjoying your yoga. That's the most important thing. The other most important thing is to do what's right for your body. Always do what's right for you. If something hurts, definitely don't do it. Give yourself permission to back out of it. Back out of it, take it to a lesser percentage, use props, take it slowly, breathe through it. Just don't hurt yourself. That's the biggest thing. There's only one and only you. Don't hurt yourself. Take it easy, take it slowly. And the good news is, as you take it slowly, it does get, I won't say it gets easier. You get stronger and you're more able to do it. It's a 1 hour long practice. We practice every single day, live start to finish, no cuts. I promise all the mistakes are included. 1 hour, if you can only stick around for 10 minutes, that's fine too. Every day our practices are different, which is good. They all challenge you in different ways. Check us out, do a week and see what you think. Today's practice is a mostly seated practice. I have a couple balancing poses thrown in because I think balancing is just critical for all of us. If you don't want to do the balancing, I've got options for you. You've got lots of options. As you practice today, think of this word, and the word is gentleness. It's one of the fruit of the Spirit. Gentleness. Gentleness means, apply it to others. Apply it to others, apply it to you, and apply it to your yoga. It means to be kind, to be mild, to be moderate, and to be gradual. So think about that as you do your yoga today. All right, you can use some props. We use these props all the time, basically, so buy them. 2 yoga blocks. They are fabulous. They're squishy, but they're supportive. They're wonderful. We're going to use them a lot today. A yoga strap. Usually you can buy the strap and the blocks together. If you don't have a strap, use a belt. All right, and just buy the supplies. That's probably $10 or $15 to buy those 3 items. An eye shade or a little hand towel. Eye shades are wonderful because they're weighted with, little glass beads or buckwheat, but they put a little bit of pressure on your eyes for final Shavasana. They're terrific, and the hand towel can do lots of double duty. Have some water handy, and let's start. Okay, so one of the things we always do in our practices is we lock in a stress number. Come on down. We're going to lie down. Oh, that sounds good. Let's just lie down. All right, so you're going to lie down and you're going to come to a pentacle pose. All right, we lock in a stress number every day. The stress number, scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Come to recline. Take it slowly. Enjoy the getting here. All right, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, what are you feeling stress-wise? Think of the smiley face to the frowny face in the doctor's office, but give it a quantifiable number so you can come back to it at the end. And that's a little measure of how well your yoga is working for you. All right, pentacle pose. What is that? You think of your body as a capital letter X. Well, here's a tip too. Grab your blocks. All right. So you're reclined. Bring your heels toward the bottom of your mat. Think of all 4 limbs going to all 4 corners of the room. All right, some of you have said that this doesn't feel great in your shoulders, so here's how you can use the blocks. Think of the blocks as a practicing partner with you, and your blocks can bring the ground up to you. If you can't get the backs of your hands and your arms all the way down to the ground, if it just doesn't feel so good, put the backs of your hands on the blocks. Maybe that's a little better. Here's another way you could modify it. Just bring your arms down a little bit. So you feel what you feel. That's the most important thing. Feel what you feel. Let it feel good. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Yoga is so important to work with the breath. Big breath in through the nose. Feel your belly feel up. And a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Use those blocks. They are ways to make your yoga more accessible. Do what feels good. That's what you got to do. You got to let the yoga meet you where you are. Don't feel that, I've got to strive to do this pose or that pose. It's all about letting the yoga meet you exactly where you are. Breathe in through the nose. Sigh out your troubles through your mouth. Let it go and really try to think of your belly button going back to your spine as you let out all the stale air. Breathe in fresh, new, invigorating breath. And sigh out the old. pinky toes kind of fall to the edges of your mat. Now start to circle your ankles in one direction then the other. Just kind of wake up your foundation, your feet. Breathe. Squeeze and scrunch your toes toward the sole of your foot. Still your feet. Let's do a snow angel. All right, remember doing snow angels? Drag your arms on down, pinkies come towards your hips, and bring your feet on in. And then spread your legs wide and bring your arms on up. Breathe. Snow angel it. In and out with the feet. Up and down with the arms. And then finish up in your snow angel pose. Sweep your arms up overhead. Stick pose, let's do that. Bring your palms to touch. One thumb is going to cross over the other. Bring your biceps near your ears. Elongate in your body, sending your toes to the bottom of the mat. Fingers reaching high off of your mat. Stretch it out like you're a big number one. Sigh it out, let it go, stretch. Big breath in and big breath out. All right, know the pose, Banana Asana. All right, let's do that one. Bring your heels to the right corner of your mat. Bring your arms, palms together. Work your fingers to the top right corner of the mat. Keep your shoulder down, keep your hip down. We're not going very far. Curved like a banana, not very far. Lateral flexion of your spine. Is this reminding you of something else we do? Like our standing warm-up. We're doing our warm-up reclined. Bring your feet back to the midline of your body. Come back to that stick pose. Lengthen through your fingers. Work your heels to the bottom left corner of your mat. Work your fingertips to the top left corner of your mat. Hips are both down. Shoulders are both down. Just breathe. Lateral flexion of your spine. We'll do a variation of this standing up in a little bit too. Just move, feel what you feel all up that right side. Come back to the midline of your body, lengthen up through your fingertips. You will look taller. That's a pose we oftentimes do standing. Great for your posture. Let's do it here. All right, the heels drive to the bottom of your mat. Draw your toes up towards your shins. Bring your arms open wide like the letter Y. Think of your body in the shape of the letter Y for the word you. Now with the backs of your hands still on your mat, if you can, drag your elbows on down and create like a reclined W shape in your arms. Now create a letter L forward and backward by hugging your elbows in and driving your forearms parallel to the top of your mat, driving them out like two letter L's. Now tee out your arms, stretch them out good and strong. Feel the strength in your shoulders. There's your T for the word taller. We're going to do that standing as well. We do that often, but I'm going to add in a little something else today that I think you're going to like. All right, breathe. Bend your right knee. Hug your right knee in. Interlace your fingers underneath the right knee and hug it in. If you can't quite reach the knee, you could use your strap or your towel. Hug the knee in, hug your elbows in. Circle the ankle because we're back to the foundation. Circle it one way, then the other. Just keep hugging it on in. Nice job. Send the leg long. Other side. Hug it in with the towel or without and circle the ankle. Hi, Esther. Hello, Lori. Hello, Scott. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Stan. Hello, Tammy, Liz, Betty, Rena, Kelly, Margarita, Steve, Jim, Robert, Tom. How are you guys? Circle the ankles. Oh, my goodness. Wake them up. All right, hug it in. Wake up your hips a little bit too. All right, leg goes long, left heel drives to the bottom of your mat. Drag both heels up towards your bottom. Toe heel your feet to the two sides of your mat. Tee out your arms, palms up or down, whatever feels good for you. Windshield wiper your legs. So your legs are like windshield wipers. Let them drop to the right. Bring them on up. Let them drop to the left. And the big thing here is just feel what you feel. You don't have to take it very far. Let it feel good. If it feels good and then starts to not feel good, stop where it doesn't feel good. Maybe hang out there for a little bit as long as it doesn't hurt. And then maybe you cross that threshold and then you can lower them even more. Or maybe not. Maybe you bring them on out. You decide. So your windshield wiper in your legs, left to right, right to left. Nice little low back massage as well. Breathe. Add in your neck. When the knees fall to the right, turn your neck to the left. Bring the knees on up. When your knees fall to the left, turn your head to the right. Just kind of quick, not too slow, not too fast, just what feels good for you today. And as you're ready, finish up in your windshield wipering. All right, so send your legs long, come back to pentacle pose, and just think about this for a moment. That little warm-up that we just did is very similar to our standing warm-up, so there's always options. So it's similar. What else is it? It is a nice little routine, a nice little sequence that you could do before getting out of bed in the morning. That's one of the things we've talked about all this month too. Maybe turn your head left to right, a little bit of a skull massage. The whole idea about this month is, taking your yoga off of your mat, moving your body, keeping that flexibility and mobility going. All right, let's finish up. Take a big good morning stretch before you get out of bed. Reach high overhead, point your toes down, stretch it out. Breathe in, breathe out. There you go. Press on up. Let's come into a child's pose and grab your 2 blocks. Okay, so flip on over. This is where you get into your head. So you kind of warmed up a little bit and moved to the body. Let's bring your 2 blocks to the top of the mat. Lots of variations for your child's pose. Your knees can be together, big toes touching, hips back to your heels, arms can be down by your sides. You can use a block under your forehead and rest here in a classic child's pose. Tuck everything in and breathe. The option I'm going to take today is a wide-legged child's pose, and I'm going to use my blocks. So send your knees wide, hips back towards your heels, the 2 blocks at the top. Sometimes we take and put our hands on the blocks and scoot them forward and sink on down. If you don't like that, you don't have to use the blocks. You can have your hands on the mat. Forehead can be on a block or no blocks at all. Or the variation I'm going to take, I'm going to put my elbows on the blocks. I'm going to bring my hands to a prayer position. I'm going to bring my palms, my hands behind my neck and sink my bottom back to my heels. So different types of intensity in all these variations. I don't know, how many did we look at? About 6 different variations? Different sensations in the body. No one is better or worse than the other. They're all just different. All right, so if you're in the pose that I'm in with the elbows on the 2 blocks, big stretch in your triceps. So you're working the shoulders. Whatever pose you're in, whichever variation of child's pose you've taken, imagine your tailbone going more to the back of the room and the crown of your head lengthening more to the front. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Really let it all go. Close your lips and breathe in and out of your nose if you like. This is called your Ujjayi Pranayama breathing. What this does is it helps you build heat in your body and it helps you stay focused on your breath. No thoughts, no worries. You're on your mat. You've committed the time. Be deliberate here. Breathe. Focus on you. Don't worry about what's to come. Here and now, breathe. And feel what you feel. Are you clenching your jaws? Soften in your jaws and let your teeth kind of have a little bit of space between them. Breathe in deeply. Feel your ribs expand to the sides of your mat as you inhale. And exhale. Let your tailbone go back even further. Let your belly button go to your spine. Stretch it out. Don't stress it out. Stretch it out. So there's your variation of your child's pose today. Be kind and gentle to you and just enjoy your practice. Come back to your child's pose anytime you like. But right now, I'm going to come out of it. You can stay here if you want. I'm going to press on up. I'll put my blocks back up at the top of the mat. And as you're ready, come into a neutral tabletop. What is that? Shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. Push the earth away, lengthen through the crown of your head and your tailbone. Back is flat and straight like a tabletop. Cat, cow, pose. 2 complementary poses that are so good for your spine. Exhale, chin to your chest, tailbone under, arch your back hard and high up to the sky. Press the tops of your feet into the mat, press your hands into the mat. Inhale, take it to its complementary pose, cow. Crown of the head lifts, tailbone lifts. Do a couple cat-cows on your own. Fingers spread wide, press into the earth, squeeze into the earth with your fingers. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Breathe. It's your yoga. Do it your way. Get in sync with your breath. And let's finish up in your cat-cow. Extend your right leg long. Place the ball of the right foot on the mat. Press hard into that extended right leg. Feel the stretch up the back right calf. Cross the right leg over the midline of your body. Plant the ball of the foot on the left side of your body. Press equally into your hands. Keep your right hip and left hip equal distant to your mat as you press into the earth. Look over your left shoulder and try to look back and see your foot. Maybe you can see your knee. Maybe you can see your bottom. Today, keep the foot here. Press into the ball of the foot. We're going to open up here. Press into the ball of the foot. Root into your left hand. Make sure your left shoulder's over your left wrist. Open up your right arm up to the sky. Look up to your right arm. Take this twist. Right hip over left. Right arm goes high. Look up to the fingers. Breathe. Exhale. Bring the hand down. Bring the leg back to its natural position. Let's do the other side. Same thing, other side. Extend your left leg, plant the ball of the foot on the mat, push hard into the mat, press hard into the ball of the foot, breathe, stretch it out. You could stay here. You can stay wherever you want, wherever you feel that you need to stay. I kind of like to stay in every variation. I'd like to stay here for a long time, but now it's time to cross this leg over the midline of the body. Squeeze high in the upper thigh. Plant the ball of the foot down on the right side of the body. Push hard into the mat. Hips are equal distant to the mat, so bring that left hip down a little bit. That's a challenge. Look over your right shoulder. Look to the foot. Look to the knee. Breathe. Breathe. Push hard into the earth. And when you're ready, lift the arm up, 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 up to the sky. Breathe. Other arm. Left arm lifts. Breathe. Look up to the fingers. Hold on. You got it. Breathe. Plant the left hand down. Right knee meets left. Cat-cow to even and balance everything out. Push hard into the earth. Inhale, cow. Neutral tabletop. Remember this one? Back is good and flat. You're in good alignment here. Knees under hips, shoulders over wrists. Press hard into the earth. Let's take it to bird dog, another balancing pose. Lift the right leg up. This time, bring the knee to hip height and extend the right leg long. How is that? Remember, hips equal distant to the mat. The tendency is to have the right hip a little higher than the left. Keep your hips equal distant. It matters. It really helps. Breathe. Push into the earth. It really makes the pose more efficient and effective. Draw the right toes toward the shin. You're driving your right heel to the back of the room. Dial the right hip down. Add in the left arm if you like. Reach it long to the top of your mat. You've got a block here. If you'd prefer, rest your hand on the block. Maybe fingers are spread wide, thumb is up toward the sky. Push hard into the earth. Lengthen through the back legs. Strengthen the spine here. Hold on and breathe. A variation. Bring the elbow and knee underneath the belly button and have them touch. Reach and touch. Maybe try to touch. Maybe they're coming nowhere near each other. That's okay. Just the movement alone is challenging your balance. Finish. Hand down, knee down. Breathe here. Re-engage the spine. Lengthen through it. Left leg lifts. Knee to hip height. Dial the left hip down. Left leg extends. Drive through the heel. Toes to the shin. Left hip down. Press into the earth. Add in the right arm if you want. Reach long, stretch it out, push hard into the earth, find more length there. Hand can be on the block if you like. Stretch, reach, find length, really play with it here. Toes to the shin, fingers reach, stretch. Elbow to knee, once or twice if you like that. Stretch, tuck, breathe. There's some variation thereof, right? Let's finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Let's do a Sphinx pose. All right, keep your blocks at the top of your mat. You might want to use them. Slip on down to your belly. You're going to feel compression of the low back here. Bring your forearms parallel to the two sides of your mat. Spread your fingers wide, lengthen up through the crown of your head and gaze down your nose. Feet comfortably on your mat, hips however far apart you like. Lengthen up here and breathe in your Sphinx pose. Now, you could take a variation that would include these blocks. Slip the blocks underneath your forearms. Oh my, that intensifies the compression of the low back. Soften in your glutes. Tendency is to want to squeeze them good and tight. Breathe here. Breathe in, breathe out, right? What other way is there to breathe? Okay, don't hold your breath. That's a big thing too. A lot of people want to hold their breath. No, I won't say a lot of people. Some people want to hold their breath. Don't hold your breath. If your breathing is shallow, relax, let it go. Maybe you like the forearms on the blocks. Maybe it's not for you today. If you have half height blocks, that's an option. You could buy blocks that are, actually they're like 3/4 of the size. You could do that. Or just slip on down to your forearms. Breathe in and out of the nose. Each variation, changes the pose a little bit. The blocks intensify this a little bit. Maybe you like that. Maybe not. It's your call. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. All right, let's come off of the blocks and let's come up. Maybe grab a drink of water because we're going to do plank. All right, so we do plank just about in every practice, except our restorative days. And there's lots of ways to take your plank. So grab a drink. As I always say, because it's so important, plank really engages everything you got, and that's so important. That's really good. It's a good stress on the body, and then you come out of it. We set a timer for 1 minute. So you set up the way you like to do plank. If you've never done plank before, I'll show you real quick. This is a reclined plank, and it works. All right, so you're lying down. Take your blocks. Send your blocks onto your palms, up high to the sky. Now, push the blocks into the sky, but pay attention to your shoulders. Suck your shoulders back in so they're plugged into the shoulder sockets and you're resting a lot of your back on your mat. Draw your toes towards your shins and imagine pressing the earth away in a plank pose. Another variation of plank would be to be on your knees. So many ways to take this, you guys. You can take it on your knees, walk your hands a little forward from a neutral tabletop, hinge the weight forward, and just press into your hands here. It feels a little better on the wrists if you kind of gecko your fingers, kind of suction cup your fingers and press a little more weight into your thumb and your pointer finger. Hold it here. That's a fine variation of plank. Your wrists still not liking it, you could slip down to your forearms and adjust, staying on your knees, kind of like back to that Sphinx pose, right? In a dolphin plank is what we call this one. You could tuck the toes under, lift the hips on up, and hold it here. That's a fine variation. I'm going to take a high plank. In your high plank position, you want your shoulders over your wrists and your legs long, legs to hip width distance apart. Let's take a moment, get into the variation you want to take, at least how you want to start, and let's set a timer for 1 minute. All right, the timer, let's go. The timer is just for you. The timer is for you to see if you want to quantifiably measure your progress. Push into the earth, breathe, lengthen through your spine. We are already 20 seconds in to this pose, right about now. All right. So you're pressing into the earth. Take breaks as you like by dropping to your knees, or if you're in a high plank, you could send your hips high to a downward facing dog. Take a breath or two there and just enjoy. All right, lengthen through your spine, push into the earth. Everything's really strong here. You're over the halfway point. We've got just 20 seconds left to go. Press the earth away. Everything is engaged here. That's really good. It's a good stressor. You need to build strength in your body. No matter how old you are, you need to build strength. And you know what? We have just 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Come down to your knees if you're not already there. And just take a break. How were you? How are you? How's it going? Pretty good, huh? Plank pose really strengthens everything you got. How are you doing? All right, come to a thunderbolt pose. For thunderbolt, knees are bent and you're seated back on your heels. We're gonna do a little bit with the neck. So seated in thunderbolt, what you wanna do is lengthen up through the crown of your head. Send your shoulders back and down. Maybe close the eyes. Take a deep breath in. Maybe a big sighing breath out to soften in the shoulders. Let's lift our arms up high to the sky. Maybe a little bend in your elbows feels better. Lengthen up here, and we're gonna give ourselves a pat on the back. What you're gonna do is bend your left elbow, take your right hand, capture it, and hug it in. So you're just gonna pat yourself on the back. Nice calming little pat. Hugging the elbow in. Eyes are closed. We'll stay here for about 3 big cycles of breath. And as you breathe, feel what you feel. Big breath in, big breath out. Feel it in the shoulders. Maybe you can send the elbow even higher. Hug it in, breathe. Fingers are on your spine, breathe. When you take the fullness of the breath, feel how the fullness of the breath changes the sensations in the shoulder. Let's finish. Send both arms up high to the sky. Think extended mountain. Reach through your fingers. Bend your right elbow. Take your left hand. Capture the elbow to hug it in even more. Pat yourself on the back. Maybe still the hand and just feel what you feel in the armpit, in the shoulder. Breathe. Soften in your jaws. Soften in your shoulders. Just 3 or so breaths here. And then let's finish. Bring your hands on down to your thighs. Eyes can be closed or open. It's up to you. Circle your head. Turn it left and right. Just find what range of motion feels good here. And if your eyes are closed, imagine when you turn your head to one direction, imagine really looking over your shoulder to the back of your room. Soften in your shoulders and circle your neck. Basically, just move your head to what feels good. And you know what hurts, what doesn't, what's uncomfortable, what isn't, what causes pain, what doesn't. If it is pain, don't do it. All right, look the head all around. And then finish. Come back to stillness at the midline of the body. Lengthen up. And exhale, soften up. We're going to do the 2 peace fingers. All right, turn your head to the left. Lift your left hand up. Take your 2 peace fingers. Place them on the outside of your right jaw. With these 2 fingers, it's a gentle little nudge. And it's pretty intense, isn't it? I mean, it's a couple of inches. I can add to moving my head more to the left. All right, soften in the shoulders. Just hold it here. Hold it nice and static. We moved it a lot right before this, so now we're just holding it with the help of our fingers. There's goodness in the movement, there's goodness in the stability and the stillness. Finish up, head back to the midline, hand down to your thigh, lengthen up. Exhale, soften up. Turn your head in the other direction, to the right. Right hand lifts, 2 peace fingers, place them on the outside of the left jaw, and turn and hold. Breathe. Maybe you can turn it a little bit more. Maybe the eyes are closed. Softening up in the left side of your neck. Slowly remove your fingers. Slowly bring your head back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up and soften up. All right, let's lift your right arm up to the sky. Bend the right elbow, place it on top of your left ear, and then encourage your head to the right side. So just soften up here, more into the neck, and living your yoga off the mat. The thing to think about today is being intentional. So not so much a pose, like we've talked about, but a thought, a concept, being intentional. What are you thankful for today? What good can you do today? And just be in the moment, be intentional. How many times are we on autopilot, right? All right, slowly remove the hand, bring it down to the thigh, bring your head back up to the midline nice and slowly. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Lift your left arm up to the sky. I'm going to keep my eyes closed and just feel what I feel. I'm going to lift my left arm high to the sky, bend my left elbow, bringing my left hand on top of my right ear, and then encouraging my left ear to my shoulder. Softening in the right shoulder. Eyes open or closed, whatever feels good. We hold so much tension in our necks. Let it go. Just be here in the moment. Soften in the jaws, soften in both shoulders. And then finish. Remove the hand gently. Let the head come slowly back up to the midline. Just take a moment here. Lengthen up. Big breath in. And big breath out. Open your eyes if you had them closed. Send your legs long onto your mat. Toes up to the sky. You can use a strap here or a towel or nothing at all. All right, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Back is nice and flat, shoulders back and down. Bring the towel on up overhead and reach, or you get the strap. Reach, lengthen, exhale, fold forward. If you have nothing in your hands, reach your hands forward. If you have the towel or the strap, bring it under your feet and give it a pull. Draw the toes up towards your shins. The towel, may not so much under the center of your foot, more so on the ball of your foot, so you can get a good stretch there. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in again, your spine gets long. Big breath out, you fold a little bit forward. As you fold a little bit forward, bring your gaze towards your knees. Hug your elbows in. Little bend in your knees might feel better. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Take your time. We're going to do 2 more big breaths at your pace. Soft shoulders. Inhale, lengthen up. Your belly pushes into your thighs. Exhale, belly goes back to your spine, and you fold more forward. Slowly release. Come back up. Shoulders over your hips. Find your 2 blocks. And spread your legs wide for a wide-legged forward fold. All right, this one feels good inside your legs. Spread your legs good and wide. Bring the 2 blocks in between your legs. Your blocks can be whatever height you like, and just hang out here for a little bit. Forearms to the blocks, or maybe forehead to the blocks. But with each big inhale, think of your spine getting long, creating space in your back. So as you exhale, you can bring your chest more forward. Your hands, maybe you bring them inside your ankles, or elbows inside your thighs, or arms reaching long. Maybe you don't even think about where your arms are. Just breathe. Big stretch inside your thighs. Press on up, slowly bringing the shoulders on up over your hips. If you like that pose, check us out on Thursdays and Sundays. We do a restorative practice, and we'll hold that pose longer. We'll do that longer on our restorative day, I promise. All right, pentacle pose to snow angel. Okay, so come on back. Remember, if you liked the hands on the blocks, bring those with you and place your hands on the blocks. Your call. Just make it work for you. The yoga is here for you to make your body feel better. That's the purpose of it. All right, so in your pentacle pose, you look like the big letter X. Remember this one? Breathe here. Nice deep breaths. A few snow angels if you like, bringing the feet together at the midline, arms down by your sides, palms face up, fingers reach to the bottom of the room so your shoulders are away from your ears, and then spread the legs and sweep the arms on up to whatever feels good for you. Breathe. Now settle in. You can either be in a final Shavasana with the arms down by your sides or come back to your pentacle pose if you want. You can stay there if you want to keep the practice all down on the ground today. If you want to do a few standing poses, I've got 3 for us to do today, and a couple of them are a little different. If you would like to join us, bring your arms down by your sides, press on up, come around to a neutral tabletop. We'll take our time getting up here, and we'll come into a downward facing dog to come to standing, if you don't want to stay in your pentacle. All right, tuck your toes towards your shins. Send your hips high up to the sky. Feet are slightly elevated. Your heels are lifted. Adjust your stance so that's the case. Maybe you got to step back or step forward, but let your heels be lifted. Look to your hands. Your hands should be spread wide, and they should be shoulder width distance apart. Push hard into your gecko fingers. Your heels, start to pedal them out. One, then the other, and breathe. Your neck, your gaze should be back to your knees or up towards your belly button as your head hangs heavy. Shake your neck and breathe. This is our transition to our standing pose. Still your heels. Walk your feet up to meet your hands or walk your hands back to meet your feet. Roll your spine up 1 vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked to your chest until you come all the way up to standing with your shoulders over your hips. Chin away from your chest. Let's do a couple standing poses. All right. You will look taller. That's a pose we did lying down and a pose we do very often. I've got one little change to it today that you might really like. Bring your body into the shape of the letter Y for the word you. Arms spread wide, pressing the backs of the hand to the back of the room. Legs are zipped up. You look like the letter Y, plain and simple. Press the backs of the hands to the back of the room. You. Let's bring our elbows down, drive them to the ground, palms forward, squeeze in about the upper to mid back. There's the letter W in your arms. The letter L, forward and backwards. Hug your elbows in, forearms parallel to the earth, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Your chest is really open, and don't you feel broad in the shoulders and open in the chest. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room, 2 L's. T out your arms for the word taller, 1 giant T, like we did 1 giant W. Pulse the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Here's the little addition. You will look taller always. Let's think of the letter A. Bring your arms down, kind of spread them out a little bit so your pinkies aren't on your hips. There's about, 12 inches from the hips. Your body looks like the letter A, kind of, sort of, or an inverted V. Lift through the chest, press the backs of the hands to the back of the room. Close your eyes if you like. Just take some big breaths here. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet and hold it. Breathe in, breathe out. Kind of feels like a fish pose, right? In the shoulders. Let's do it again one more time. You, we'll do it a little faster. Big letter Y, big letter W for will. Elbows are really pressed down because your shoulders are away from your ears. Will. 2 L's, press the backs of the hands to the back of the room. For look. T for taller, pulse the hands. Now bring the hands down, pressing the backs of the hands to the back of the room. You will look taller always, or you will look taller, all right? But easy to remember. Breathe, breathe in, breathe out. Soften in the shoulders. Let the hands hang, the arms hang down by your sides. Shoulders are soft, breathe. Big breath in, big breath out. Let it go. Tree pose, hands to prayer center. Weight into the left foot, weight out of the right. Open up the knee to the side of the room. You can balance on the toes or the ball of the foot. Have a chair or nearby if you'd like to hold on to it. Perhaps you bring the sole of the foot onto the calf or higher up into the thigh. Just don't ever place it on the knee. It's not good for your knee. Your knee's not meant to bend sideways. Drive the back of the right knee to the back of the room. Hold on here. Again, look to where the ceiling and the wall meet as you focus and lengthen up through the crown of your head. You're strong. Arms, you can grow your branches of a tree and sway them. Focus. Finish with the sway. Bring the hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front. Right foot meets left. Take a big breath in, just kind of reground here. Big breath in, big breath out. Root into the opposite leg. Open up the other knee to the side of the room. Place the foot wherever you like. Maybe you stay on the toes as you improve your balance. Maybe you stay on the ball of your foot. Maybe slip the foot up a little higher. Skip over the knee. Maybe bring it high into the thigh. Press the foot into the leg, leg into the foot. Check out your hips. Equal distant to the front of the room, as are your shoulders, equal distant to the front of your room. Hands can stay at prayer center as you lengthen up through the crown of your head. Maybe grow your branches, hold on to a chair, wave, whatever. Find your balance in that strong standing leg. Sway your branches if you like. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Left foot meets right on your mat. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. One more standing pose if you like. Remember, we started off with a banana asana. Really similar pose. No surprises here. Sweep your arms up. It's called a half crescent moon. Bring your palms together to touch. Lengthen up, stretch it out. Your biceps are up near your ears. Remember that? We kind of did that modified cow face pose when we hugged our elbow in toward our ear and patted ourselves on the back. Lengthen up here, biceps by the ears. Fingers are reaching up toward the sky. Root into both feet. Lengthen up. And when you're ready, keeping your hands together, let your fingers go toward the right side of your room. Root into your feet, chin away from your chest, left shoulder away from your, left shoulder up toward the sky, chin away from the chest, breathe. Here is your half crescent moon. Let's challenge it a little bit more if you like. Take it in layers. You take the layers you want. All right, you're going to take your right hand, capture your left wrist and give it a pull. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder back, breathe. That intensifies the pose, doesn't it? All right, if you'd like, take your right foot, cross the right foot over the left, and stretch it out here, intensifying it even more. Finish up. Feet come back to meet in a natural position. Let go with the wrist, bring your fingers back up to the sky, lengthen up. Big breath in, and big breath out. Take it to the other side. All right, let the fingers go toward the left side of your room. Chin away from the chest, top shoulder back, breathe, hold on here. Keep your feet equally rooted. Chin away from the chest, breathe, reach through your fingers. Add in the little tug. Take the bottom hand, the left hand, give the right wrist a pull. Pull, pull, pull. If you like, the right leg crosses over the left. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Finish, feet back to a natural position, let go with the wrist. Fingers, palms meet, lengthen. Exhale, hands to prayer center. Take a moment here, you did it. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's make our way back down to the mat to meet our friends that stayed here. Hinge forward, let your fingers reach toward the ground. Little bit of a bend in your knees. Look back towards your knees or your belly button. Let the crown of your head hang and shake your head. Walk your hands forward, come down to your knees. Nothing really special here, just make your way on down. All right, so let's all come down onto our bottoms. Find your blocks and your strap and your eye shade and your towel and bring it up near your shoulders. All right, so if you're in your pentacle pose, come on out of it. Hands and legs come down by your sides, back to the midline of your body. Let's come down onto our backs and let's do a bridge pose. All right, so have your blocks nearby. So what we're going to do for the bridge pose, have your two blocks nearby. You want to be able to reach them. So you're down on your shoulders, bend your knees, bring your heels kind of behind your bottom, shins parallel to each other, knees in line with your thighs. Press on up here and hold it right here. Here is your bridge pose, arms down by your sides. Shoulders away from your ears. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Here is your bridge pose. You can stay in this. Breathe. Lift your hips a little higher. Squeeze tightly in your glutes. See, in fact, grab your glutes and push them on up and then hold. Remove your hands and you're just a little higher. Just sometimes touching a part of your body makes you realize, okay, engage it a little bit more. Press your hips on up and hold them there. I'm going to take a block. I'm going to bring the block underneath my bottom. And now let all of your weight come onto that block. The block will support it. Let it come on down. So this is a supported bridge. Toe heel your feet hip width distance apart. Let your knees collapse inward. This is a collapsed bridge. And just, different variations. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Stay here if you like, or toe heel your feet back to that starting position with the feet in line with the rest of the legs. The block, let's press it on up a level. So lift your hips on up by pressing into your feet. Place the block underneath your low back. You'll know where it feels right. And then let all your weight fall onto the block at a higher level, if that feels good. If you don't like it, bring the block back down to a lower level. Adjust the block so it's comfortable. Now, is all your weight really on that block? Lift a foot up, then the other one, and just kind of, let all the weight go onto that block. Breathe in, breathe out. Belly to the spine. When you do that, you really feel intensifying the pose here. Decompressing your low back. Make sure the block is nice and low so your whole spine can kind of hang off of it and take advantage of gravity. There's a good use of gravity. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right, stay here if you want, but I'm going to press my weight into my feet, lifting my hips up off of the block. And I'm going to find the second block. Place the two blocks at their stable height, side by side, underneath your bottom. Pontoon pose. So you got two blocks down there now. Get them under your bottom, and you know what feels comfortable. So just let it feel good. Now send your legs long. Oh yeah, send your legs long and feel this intense stretch in the front of your hips. Adjust your blocks so you're comfortable. Arms down by your sides, palms face up, and maybe hang out here. Breathe in, breathe out, soft shoulders, soften in the eyebrows. All right, left leg. Drive the left heel more to the bottom of your mat by drawing your left toes up towards your shins. Let that left leg be long. Bend your right knee and hug it in. You could use your towel. If your arms, just aren't quite long enough to reach under the knee, hug the right knee in. Hug it in and just hold it here. Maybe interlaced fingers are beneath the knee. Maybe you need the towel today because this is intense. Circle the ankle in one direction, then the other on the right foot, keeping the left leg long. Hug it in, squeeze it in, breathe. Just feel how close you can get the knee in. Feel how it feels in your hips, because we're going to do something different just to compare in a minute. All right, send the right leg long. Right heel drives to the bottom of the mat. It's the left leg's turn. Send the right leg long so you really feel it in the right hip flexor. Leg is really super long. Bend the left leg using the towel or interlaced fingers. Hug underneath the left knee. Circle the ankle in one direction, then the other. And then squeeze that leg. Hug it in. Feel how intense this is in your hips. Shoulders are down. Breathe. Send your left leg long. Stretch them both out. Bend your knees, sole of the feet on your mat. Lift your hips up, remove the blocks. Let's do it again without the blocks. Slowly lower your hips down. Left leg goes long. Left heel drives to the bottom of your mat. Right knee lifts. Hug the right knee in. Is it more doable? It's probably more doable, but it's less intense, isn't it? Circle the ankle this way and that. Hug the right knee in and breathe. Let's take this to a supine twist here. Hug the right knee in. Left hand guides the right knee across the midline of your body. Right arm tees out. Look to the right. We started out, remember we did windshield wipers? So similar. This is a little more intense. Gaze back up to the sky. Hug the right knee in. Circle the ankle. Right leg goes long. Left leg's turn. Drive through the right leg. Heel to the bottom of the mat. Left knee bends using your towel or your interlaced fingers. Hug underneath the left knee. Hug it in. Maybe this is where you stay. Circle the ankle this way and that. Find mobility in your ankle. If you want to take the twist part of this pose, take the right hand, guide the left knee across the midline of the body. Work the knee down. Left arm tees out. Look to the left. Breathe. Left hip comes down, right knee, hug it in again and circle it out. Breathe. Send both legs long on your mat. Remember pentacle, come back to that. Legs spread wide, arms go high overhead. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Did you enjoy the experimenting with the bridge pose, to the pontoon pose, to the twist, to the hugging the knee in, on the block and off the blocks? How was it different for you? Breathe in, breathe out. Let's finish up in a final fish pose before we do final Shavasana. So come on up, bring your 2 blocks to whatever height you like. Maybe you like them at the most stable height. Think of the blocks as the letter T. Top block is horizontal, bottom block is vertical. Space between for your neck. Remember the poses we did early on? Well, just come on back. Let's lie on these blocks, and I'll tell you in a second. So adjust the low block, the vertical block, so it's between your shoulder blades. Your bottom is down on the mat. The horizontal block is a pillow for your head. Arms, we did a lot of snow angels today, so you know what feels good for you. Do you want to tee them out? Have them at waist height, whatever. Just relax here. Wiggle your shoulders. Get comfortable on that block. Legs can be long. Knees can be bent to alleviate some tension on the low back. Remember that compression you felt in the low back in your Sphinx pose? This eases tension in your low back by having the soles of the feet on your mat. Remember the good sensation you had in your inner thighs in your wide-legged forward fold? Maybe come back to that by bringing the soles of your feet together to touch and your knees open wide. Breathe in, breathe out in your fish pose. All right, we did a variation of you will look taller today in our standing pose. In that position, we had our arms into that letter A-like shape for all right or always. Arms were down. You pressed the backs of your hands to the back of the wall. Did your chest feel more open in any of those variations of you will look taller? I'm sure it did. And in your fish pose, ooh, it does the same thing. Chest is nice and opened. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Soften in your shoulders. No tension there. Open up through your chest. Breathe more efficiently. And your posture, let it get better too as your shoulders are back and down. Strength in the upper back. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Legs are however you like, whatever feels good for you in your supported fish pose. This is a pose that we also do on Thursdays and Sundays in a restorative practice. You can do it on your blocks, or we oftentimes do it on a bolster, and we'll hold it for a longer period of time. We'll do that tomorrow as well. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You can stay here in your fish pose if this is speaking to you. I'm going to roll off these blocks and come into a final Shavasana. I am going to roll off the blocks one side or the other. I'm going to remove the shoulder block, and I'm going to keep the head block just for something different. You take the variation of final Shavasana that speaks to you. Adjust the block so it's right. Find your eye shade and or your little towel. Cover your eyes with one of those because you want to block out the light. It's really nice to add in the weight too if you have a weighted eye shade. Spread your legs a little bit. Let your pinky toes fall to the edges of your mat. Breathe in, breathe out. Arms down by your sides. Palms face up, shoulders away from your ears. And breathe deeply. And if you don't like the head block, remove it. Maybe you have another variation of your final Shavasana. Keep your mind clear. Don't think thoughts. Don't think about what you're going to do 10 minutes from now. Let it go. Right here, right now. Be deliberate in this moment and just be gentle. Peaceful. Big breaths in, big breaths out. If your teeth are touching, soften in your jaws. Soften the area between your eyebrows. And just breathe deeply. nothing else. Deepen your breath even more and listen to your breath. If you want to stay longer, one of your props could be having your remote control really close, and push pause and enjoy your final Shavasana as long as is right for you. Maybe 10 minutes. It's up to you. If it's time to come out of your hour-long practice, take a deep breath in and a big refreshing breath out as you sigh it out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Gotta love that foundation. Inhale, reach high overhead. Take a big good morning stretch like you do before you get out of bed every morning. Bend your elbows and your knees, roll onto one side or the other in a fetal position. Scoot that block aside. Use your low arms bicep as a pillow. Top shoulder softens, your eyes are closed, and you savor the breath right here, right now. As you're ready, maybe you keep your eyes closed or open. It's up to you. Just know what you're doing and make the choice. Press on up to a comfortable seated position. Hands to prayer center. Lengthen up through your spine, shoulders back and down. Think back to your fish pose days with your chest nice and strong, shoulders back and down. Big breath in, big breath out. Gently blink, your eyes open. Don't deliberate, do. And you just did. You did it. Awesome. I'm proud of you. Very, very good. Take a stress number. You took it in the beginning. What is it now? I guarantee it's a lot lower, right? You feel so much better. Yoga is the union of your body, your mind, and your soul. You just feel more at peace. You feel more limber, more flexible, more mobile. That's what we're all about. All right, as you go on with the rest of your day, think of these things. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, our word of the day, gentleness, and self-control. See you guys on your mats tomorrow for another yoga practice. Hello, cat pose. But you're a dog. Hey, I have 2 dogs. Good for you. I hope you like the practice today. Check us out every single day. Every practice is different, I promise. Send us a thumbs up, send us a like, subscribe on YouTube, whatever. See you guys on your mat tomorrow. You mean a lot to me. Thanks. I love you. Bye. Hey, guys. How are you, little puppies? How are you? Good girls. Good girls. Bye. It's not what you think you are that's holding you back. It's what you think you're not that's holding you back. Come on now, you can do your yoga. You know that because you've stuck around, you've done your yoga, you've been doing your yoga faithfully. Good for you. And I hope you're seeing the benefits. I know you're seeing the benefits. Tell your friends about those benefits. Have them join our yoga too. It is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and on YouTube. They can sign in, they can do the yoga live with us, which I think is the most fun, or they can watch it anytime throughout the day. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Come check it out. Come check out your yoga. Tell your friends to check us out and just have a good time. Be all that you can be. See you on your mats tomorrow.